Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Abby. I'm currently studying Japanese in Japan.
That's really bad, right?
Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Abby and I'm currently studying Japanese in Japan. That sounded much better, right? Okay, well, that's how I used to sound when I speak Japanese. Unless you're a native speaker or you really notice people's accents. As a normal person who doesn't speak Japanese or is quite beginner, you probably wouldn't be able to tell that I had a bad accent. But as the years have gone by, I've become self-conscious about it because I don't sound like I'm speaking Japanese. I sound like I'm speaking gibberish. And so in today's video, I'm going to talk about the 3 ways that I learned how to fix my accent and how you can too if you're interested in that. Quick disclaimer, by the way, I'm not an expert by any means. I know that my accent still sounds bad, but it's not as bad as it was before. And these are just the things that helped me to improve my accent. And so I wanted to share with other people because these are like the kind of videos that I wish I had watched, or like the things that I wish I knew when I started learning, you know? I'm just sharing my little tidbits that I think are valuable. So first I'm going to talk about why I care about my accent, and I guess why you should too. Like in the first sentence that I spoke in this video, it was just one sentence, but imagine me talking like that all the time. It'd just be really hard to understand what I'm saying, right? You're trying to have a normal conversation with someone, but you're spending all your brain power to understand what individual words that they're saying, and it just ruins the conversation. Yeah, imagine you studied for 2,000 hours, you know all the words, you know the grammar, but then once it comes out of your mouth, it just sounds terrible. And it's kind of embarrassing, right? Maybe your friend has just started studying Japanese, and in a month, they sound better than you. And it doesn't make sense because you've been studying for years. Why do they sound so confident and you sound like a robot? Well, that was the problem that I found myself in. And so that's when I started becoming more conscious and I wanted to learn how to speak Japanese properly. I know that language learning isn't a competition. It's only natural to compare yourself to other people. And especially for me, I'm quite a competitive person. So to have other people around me that are also studying the same thing and like doing better than me, it keeps me motivated. So that's when I realized that having a good accent is like having good looks. Superficial, yes, but it helps you with making a good impression. And sometimes a first good impression goes a long way. My goal isn't to sound like a native speaker because that's pretty much impossible, and there comes a point where you put in too much effort and the amount that you get back from it isn't really worth it. I just don't want to sound like an obvious foreigner, you know what I mean? We'll move on to how to fix it. It's the same as all problems in life. You need to understand what's wrong with it before you can fix it, right? Therefore, you need to learn how the accent in this language works. But every language is different. Some languages use intonation like English, some languages use tones like Chinese, and in Japanese's case, there are pitches. And it's something that isn't really talked about at a beginner level of Japanese, but it's super important. Like when you learn Chinese, the first thing you learn is there's 5 tones, but for some reason, Japanese, they don't even tell you there's like highs and lows. Anyway, I'm telling you now. You don't need to know all the rules, you just need to understand the gist of it. Pretty much that one sentence of knowing that in Japanese there's highs and lows, that's a good start. Personally, when I started studying this, I kind of went full on. The way I learned was I went onto Dogen's YouTube channel. He is a comedy YouTuber. He's also properly studied Japanese pitch accent, and he also makes different videos teaching pitch accent in a concise manner that I haven't found readily available and easy to understand in English. I became a patron and I watched a bunch of the videos. I didn't watch all of them. Once I like understood the gist of it, that's when I was able to start learning in my own way. And that's what I'll get into next. So once you understand the basics, now you just have to start practicing and speaking the proper way and forgetting your old ways. And that takes a lot of time, and maybe the answer is obvious now, but you have to keep immersing and shadowing. So think about how babies learn, right? They don't study all the rules, they don't know all the conventions, there's no textbook on telling you how to speak. You don't have a choice but to listen to the outside world. And the outside world is speaking in this proper native accent, right? Basically, that's what we have to do as well. I limit myself from listening to non-native speakers. Sadly, that means not watching some YouTubers that speak Japanese if they're not native. And I try to listen to as much Japanese native speakers as much as I can, even if it means dubbing like English content into Japanese. I've watched all of Shrek in Japanese. And because it's an animated movie, it kind of works. That's what happens when you're serious about it. You exchange all of the time that you consume media in your other languages, and then you try to cut that out, put some more Japanese into it. The whole immersing thing, it doesn't just help you with your accent. Obviously, it helps you with your listening, your comprehensive skills, conversation skills. But then comes the shadowing part. What exactly is shadowing? It's like mimicking. Okay, this is hard to do when you're like simply watching a TV show and you want to enjoy it. The way shadowing works is, for me, it like speeds up the process of your brain brain remembering how certain words and sentences sound. You can use any content, TV shows, podcasts, even some textbooks to do this shadowing. The way I do it is I just take a sentence, I listen to that sentence, and then I try to say it back as the person is saying it back. So I don't wait for the whole sentence to be over and then I say it back. That's what they usually do in classrooms and stuff. But I try to do it as they're speaking. So it's like, hello, my name, I can't demonstrate it by myself. I'll insert a clip.
すみません。
すみません。
このアプリ、どうやったら音が小さくなりますか？
小さくなりますか？
音ですか？
音ですか？
コントロールパネルに行ったら小さくできるんじゃないですか？
小さくできるんじゃないですか？
あ、
So I'm actually using this app. It's just called shadowing, but basically they have a passage for you and then you can record yourself saying it. So I think you're supposed to be using headphones because then they'll record just your voice instead of now it's recording both the voice of the text and my voice. But I did that to show the video, obviously. So you can play back the recording, you can listen back to how you sounded, and then if you practice properly like that, then you'll definitely get better. This is a really good app and it's free, so I'll put the link in the description if you want to use it. I'll just play a little bit back.
コントロールパネルに行ったら小さくできるんじゃないですか？
I think it's pretty good. I have an idea of like what I'm supposed to sound like when I speak. Obviously, when I'm speaking in a normal conversation, I'm not super conscious of everything. So this is a good time to be conscious of your accent. If you're like really serious about this and you want like a perfect shadowing setup, I'll link a video by Matt vs. Japan. He did this video on like his setup on how to essentially speak but not hear yourself and only hear the native thing. I tried doing that once. I have all the equipment because I have like microphone, OBS, all that, but it's a bit too much effort for me. Okay, on to the second method. Not free, but it is the one that helped me out the most. Basically, I got a private tutor from italki. I got multiple actually. It took a while to find my like ideal teacher. I still take lessons from multiple people, but I do have one like ideal teacher that I'll always come back to her. But yeah, basically with italki, it is a website, not sponsored, no one knows I exist. italki is basically this website where you can learn any language. You can meet up with private tutors, like community tutors, who are people in the community who want to help you out, or like actual certified teachers as well. And the way the lessons work is pretty much up to you and the teacher. So for me, I knew that I was going to focus on my pitch accent. That was the main point of doing italki. Well, yeah, get conversationally better. And so for a portion of my lessons, we would focus on pronunciation. So every time we would go through like a short little paragraph or article together, and then my teacher would read it out with the proper accent.
Also, I'm learning Tokyo accent. Maybe you like Kansai Ben. It's up to you, but I think it's a lot harder to learn other accents because there's a lot less resources.
Anyway, she reads it out in the proper accent, I repeat it, and then if I say it wrong, then she fixes it for me. And then slowly over time, when you do this a lot, you start to pick up the patterns of how these pitches go without knowing the rules. For example, something that I easily picked up on was like compound words. If there's a word with like 4 or more kanji, it's basically 2 words put together. Even if the first word goes high to low and then the second word goes high to low, if you put them together, it pretty much always goes high and then low again. What's a good example for this? Overseas travel. Kaigai. I need to look it up just in case I'm wrong. I don't want to teach you something wrong. Yeah, you know how I'm looking it up? I'm using Jacksent. I talked about this in my other video, so go check it out. Overseas is kaigai and travel is ryoko. So you'd be like kaigai ryoko. But if you put the 2 words together, it becomes kaigai ryoko. If that sounds complicated, don't worry. Something you'll pick up over time. Having a private tutor is, yes, it is basically the same thing as immersing and shadowing, but this definitely speeds up the process for me. It also keeps me disciplined because every week I would schedule it. No matter how much I didn't want to study, it was in my calendar and I already paid for it, so I had to do it, you know? I've been using italki for months now. I've done 100 lessons. I might make a video about how to structure your lessons properly because I remember I almost quit italki. You get like 3 trial lessons and ideally you find the teacher that you like within those trial lessons, but I didn't like the teachers that I found, and so I almost quit italki, but I'm so glad I didn't. Comment down below if you want to watch that video, maybe. If you do want to join italki, I'm going to put my referral link in the bottom. Again, not sponsored, but if you join with my link, then I think you get a discount. I also get $10 USD account so I can keep using italki, which I would appreciate a lot because I'm struggling right now. I need to start doing more lessons again. Finally, the last method is simply looking up all the words that I don't know how they sound naturally. I've talked about this in a previous video before, like the best apps for learning Japanese, and one of them I mentioned is Jaccent. There's actually a better resource than this, but it's not an app, it's a website called Prosody Tutor. If you don't know how the word sounds, then you're just reading it in your head and then you are making up how the word sounds. Like imagine you learnt the word for studying, but you only read the word studying and then you thought it was studying. Like that's embarrassing, okay? Whenever I'm insecure or don't know how a word or even a whole sentence, you can put like a whole paragraph in Prosody Tutor and it tells you the accent for the word and for the whole sentence. I think it's super useful. Use it all the time. Bookmarked. I hope that you're more motivated to study. I hope I'm more motivated to study. It's the weekend now and I'm kind of just chilling, but yeah, maybe I'll study after this. Well, I know a lot of people think that, oh, spending time on your accent is like...
I could be learning grammar with that time.
But there comes a point where you don't need that much grammar, okay? You need the grammar for JLPT. After you do the test, who cares, right? Whereas your accent, it sticks with you for the rest of your life. If you found anything in that video helpful or you're going to use any of the tips and tricks, then please give this video a like and subscribe if you want to see more Japan-related content from me. Appreciate you watching to the end. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
Oh my god. Someone just followed me while I'm filming. What the heck?